Hello, welcome to the messy corner of my workshop. None of that, in every corner. Yeah, probably. This is my Fiat Panda 100 HP. The engine is running at the moment. You're going to wonder why, because that's screwing the sound up. Well, I've replaced the thermostat. I've done some work on it. Here's the old one. Because it was running a little bit cool. How was your touch? Channel member Channel member Pete pointed this out in a previous video. He said they are known to stick, run a little bit cool, and then you lose an extra 500 RPM off the revs at the top of the rev range. Although, as we've seen on the Rolling Road, if you've watched the Rolling Road video, we know that 500 revs doesn't actually do anything. But if it's not running at full temperature, that's not good. So I've decided to change the thermostat. The raffle actually ends, well, as I'm recording, tomorrow, which is Saturday. Today is Friday, that's how weeks work. So I've only got this car technically in my ownership for one more day, and I've changed the thermostat. Don't know why. It's not too bad to do actually. And now the cooling system is bleeding in. So basically I'm just monitoring the temperature on here. I've heard the fan come on already. I just want to hear it come on and go off again, and then I can knock it on the head, wait for it to cool down, double check the level. I mean, it's all very well saying like, oh, they don't make them like they used to, you know, modern cars. Well, I suppose people wouldn't call this a modern car. I call this a modern car. Look at the condition in there. That has not seen the light of day since 2009. How do I know this? Well, 2008 is the date marker on there, and all the clips that I just had to bust off were, where have they gone? Oh, I've lost them. It was the original ones. The, you know, metal things. So that's never been off. Shiny. Anyway, I thought it'd be nice just to kind of look back and reflect on what kind of time I've had with the Panda. I've always wanted one of these cars. It's delivered. It has delivered. It keeps burping as well, which is quite inconvenient. Yeah, it has delivered. It's a fun car. It's a flawed car. It's not a perfect car, but it's it does tie in with everything that's been written about it. You know, the whole thing about the limited suspension, and I actually think the ride on the main roads, when you're out and about on normal roads, I actually think the ride on this car is okay. Like, it's stiff, it's not comfortable, but given how bad it is over speed bumps and really bad bumps, they've actually done a really good job with the spring rates on it. It kind of, the little imperfections, the little ruts in the road, tarmac joints, things like that, it rides them better. It rides them better than some Citroens, if I'm honest. It's that initial, you know, frequency, if you like, of it hitting it. It does a good job of it. It's been okay to work on. I haven't done as much as I wanted to. My optimism when I got the car, I'm going to change the driver's seat foam, I'm going to do the rear axle, and I mean, the rear axle is fine, but it's rusting, like it's got surface rust on it. So if you were owning this car and you're going to keep it a long time, the best thing to do is take it off, get it shot blasted, get it all treated and zinc sort of galvanized, sprayed and things like that, and then get it painted in epoxy, and then put it back on with some new bushes and things, and then you've future-proofed it. As it stands at the moment, it's okay, but these axles are bespoke apparently to the Panda 100 HP, so you'd probably do that. The paint is okay. It's a bit marked down the side there. Again, I did think about trying to do something with it, but the weather's just been so bad. I have got a unit, but it means I've always got to keep a space in here for detailing a car. I can't really justify that. If it was the summer, it'd be fine. You'd have loads of time outside and some light in the evenings. Yeah, here it's just, unless I just like evict customers' cars out to do it all the time, it's just not practical. But I have managed to get some things done. I've done the driver's window regulator, was one of the first things. Well, it was annoying every time I shut the door, the window would drop. That got quite tiring. So I did that. Well, it's safe to say it's never been taken out before. Well, that's just great, isn't it? The door membrane is made of the most brittle plastic wrappy stuff that I've seen in quite a long time, and the glue holding it on is some of the best glue that I've seen in a long time, and even trying to heat it up with a hot air gun, yeah, it's well, that didn't go well. and I don't have another one. So I'll do my best with this, but it might want another one, otherwise it might start steaming up when it rains. But I hate it when that happens, I really do. Okay, so the old regulator is out, and well, you can see a problem here. There's only one cable. No idea where the other one's gone. The old regulator had studs in the frame that goes at the back of the runner. This one didn't, and it didn't come with any new bolts either, but luckily I have a supply of bolts, like these little stainless cap-headed ones, which I'm hoping won't poke through so far that they foul the thing on the other side. So I'm going to do those up. I've plugged it in already, and then see if pushing the switch makes the thing go up and down. Good name for a channel, that. If it goes up and down, I'll bring the window down by hand, connect it to it, and then it should be done. Right, so she's all bolted up. Let's see. Switch. Hey! Oh, it's got one touch. And it works. That's useful. Right, she's all clipped together. This is where I put the power on and push the button, and the window smashes and I cry. Yay! Panda's got a window. But no busted door membrane anymore. I'll see what I can sort. Managed to salvage that better than I thought I would. Right, well, it appears... Yay! That was manly, wasn't it? Look, one touch. Luxury. It wasn't just the regulator that I did though. Do you remember the rear brakes on the way home? I reckon I could probably fry an egg on the rear wheel. I've sorted it out. I've got a new caliper in the end, a complete new caliper, which should be a fairly straightforward job. So straightforward, in fact, that I decided to buy discs and pads at the same time and do the whole back end. So I do new caliper and new discs and pads both sides. Getting the discs off, and the award for stupidest brake design goes to Fiat. Genius, that is. Yeah, well done. Yeah, brilliant. So I had to drill the bolts out. Oh, 3 of them. 1 of them came out. Brilliant design, that, Fiat. Well done. Use cap head bolts in an area that's going to get absolutely rusted. Genius. You want to know the best part? M10 by 1.25. I haven't got any. I've got no bolts. I can't put it back together. I'm just off to scream. £36. £36 sterling for 4 bolts. £36 delivered to me. 4 bolts. 36 sterling. So as you can see, yeah, that was pretty frustrating, but I have now done the rear brake caliper. It's all bled in. I've changed the brake. Well, I've tested the brake fluid. The brake fluid's actually good. 184 degrees C wet boiling point, so that's pretty good. Caliper's done. Handbrake's set. Handbrake's actually very good for a disc operated handbrake. I haven't been handbrake turning it. No, I actually haven't been. But yeah, it's had that done. I've done the window regulator. I've done the side skirt down there. I spent a long time trying to get that wheel arch attached. I actually took the whole thing off when I was doing the brakes and spent ages trying to get the thing reattached. And will it reattach? Will it balls? Because someone's drilled the hole out in the side skirt that the arch clips into. So it is now bonded in place, but it's now not hanging off. Big day tomorrow for the Panda. Well, it's not a big day really. I'm going on a collection, what do you call them, collection caper, to Christ Church in Dorset to pick up another car. I'm going to drive this down and then that car is getting picked up. But in order to do this, I've had to glue this piece of trim back on because that there has been hanging off since I got the car and it's really annoying. And I've tried many different clips and cannot get it to stay on properly. So now I've glued it. But I need to put something next to it. I'm going to leave it indoors tonight. I need to put something next to it to you know, keep some weight against it so that it goes off overnight and the glue gets a chance to hold it together. But I don't know what to put there. I don't know what to put there. Yes, and it's a Citroen DS 23 EFI engine block leaning against a piece of wood. That is heavy. That is going nowhere. Even an earthquake ain't going to shift that. I went on the Panda owners group, I think it was a 100 HP owners group, and one of the previous owners was in there, and he confirmed this car has had 50 profile tyres fitted. Someone did mention that in the comments on one of the first videos. That's actually quite a common thing by the sound of it, to try and alleviate some of the ride problems. I probably would keep the 50s, if I'm honest. I think I would. But I haven't changed any tyres or anything, A, because it's expensive, and B, because it had advisories on some of them, but I didn't know, I'm not going to change all 4, and I didn't know if the next person's going to want the 45s that it's supposed to have, or we'll keep with the 50s. I don't know. There's tread on them. I mean, that one's got an advisory on it. Up to you what you do with it, whoever ends up with this car. What else was there? The bump stops on the back apparently have been changed for Fiat Coupe ones to give it more travel. So this has been owned by enthusiasts in the past, which is kind of sad that it ended up at an auction site. It wasn't a bereavement sale or anything like that. It went through a car supermarket type place. So that's how it ended up there. It's a bit of a bizarre turn of events for it, really. But yeah, I went through the history on it, renewed some bits as I've seen fit, like the thermostat, made good power on the dyno, as we know. I think the only things, if I was keeping it longer, what would I do? Exhaust. The exhaust. So the knocks I mentioned from the suspension the other day, funny how when I got back from picking it up, and I said, on the road it was fine, and there was one knock, you know, when we went over a big bump. And then I mentioned later on, oh, it's knocking more. Do you remember I changed the exhaust? I tweaked the exhaust, didn't change it. I tweaked the exhaust because I said it wasn't lined up properly. I found out why it wasn't lined up properly. It's because otherwise it hits the back axle. So I've pulled it back down again, so now it's hanging quite low in front of the axle. It just doesn't fit properly. It's been bodged at this end. It just doesn't fit properly at the back end. So I've pulled it down. It still hits the back axle. If you have 2 people in the car, you will hear it clunk every now and then. But that is actually the exhaust hitting the axle. The bushes are fine. It's not the bump stops. It's not the springs. It's not the cup hanger things. The springs go on. They're okay. It's the axles. There's a mark on the exhaust where it's hitting the axle, which is kind of annoying. Were I keeping the car, I would probably invest in just a full system. Just get one that fits, to be honest with you. It's a proper 100 HP exhaust, but it's not a genuine one. It's an aftermarket one, so it doesn't fit brilliantly. Oh, I changed the wiper blades. That was a big expense. No, it wasn't. That was quite cheap. Yeah, wiper blades, thermostat, brake caliper at the back, discs and pads at the back, window regulator, coolant, because that's been done with the thermostat. Oh, and repaired the wipers, that wiper mechanism that went. So, yeah, that's only in a month. I've only done about 400 miles in it. I was hoping to get a bit more done than that, but I just haven't had time, really. I've got so much going on. Yeah, in the 400 miles, it's been lovely. The only thing it has done, actually, it did this earlier on today, I've just remembered. I've got a warning light come on the dash, and I scanned it, and it come up as oil pressure sensor. Like, it can tell you when the sensor's on its way out. Oil pressure's fine. It's the sensor. Do you remember Hubnut had that with his KA, didn't he? He had the oil pressure light come on. Well, I haven't had an oil pressure light come on. I think it's because it's a multi-function display. But yeah, the fault code for it was oil pressure sensor. So it might need one of them. If I can find that next week, after it's ended, I'll see if I can get that done. I mean, it won't be expensive, I wouldn't have thought, even if I can't get it done, but I will try. Yeah, kind of gutted, really. I mean, I don't really... I am and I aren't. I am and I aren't. That's brilliant. I like the car. It's been a dependable little car, actually. It's been nice, and I found myself taking it out of choice in the evenings when I could take other things this is the one I revert to, because it's just nice and small and easy and simple and basic, but it is still fun. It's fun just to drive around, if that makes sense. That sounds stupid, but it's fun just to, go in and out of the little lanes and things. I don't think the steering does it any favours. I think the steering's a bit vague. It's not very sharp on the initial. They could learn a lot from like Ford from the steering, but it's an electric rack, so that's kind of what they do. Yeah, it doesn't. But other than that, the gear change is nice. The gear ratios are fun. We actually, do you know, it's not that bad on the motorway. It's going to sound crazy saying that. Sixth gear, you tend to drive at about 65 mile an hour in sixth. It's perfectly comfortable. We took it on a collection caper to pick up a car that came out of a garage that looked like this. And spoiler alert, it's next to you. It's there, look. The car that was in that garage. Oh, you can't turn. Oh well. Yeah. So yeah, it's there, and it came. Yeah, it did a run there. It was very involved in that day. The video for that car will come out in the future. I don't know exactly when. Could be days, could be weeks, could be months, but it will come out in the future. And this car does appear in that video as well. So even when it's gone, it will still be around, kind of thing. But for now, for the next 24 hours, I'm going to enjoy my Panda 100 HP ownership, and yeah, I think the next person's going to like it. I think the next person is going to like it. Value-wise on the car, if they were to get rid of it, which is entirely their prerogative, they could win this car for £1 and then go, well, I'm just going to sell it because that's easy money. How much is the car worth? I don't know. I've had a look online. It seems there are two types of values on Panda 100 HPs. There are the perceived value of a Panda 100 HP and the actual value of a Panda 100 HP. They aren't worth as much as I thought. It's just that there are a few chances out there asking big money for them, like 5,000 and stuff like that. The reality is, if you want a really good one of these, there are a few specialists out there that I've learned, and it seems to me that try and get the best one you can at a sort of sensible price, and then take it to them and get it titivated. So this is a great base. I mean, like, the arches and everything are good. Underneath it's quite good. It's in really good condition overall underneath. The body is really nice in places, and in other places it could do with a little bit. That side there, it's got like a few little marks and things, but yeah, there's a few companies out there that do specialise in these. So if you manage to win this for £1, you've got a bit of money left in the bank to turn it into a really nice one. And the parts are quite cheap, which is good. That thermostat was about £21. So, right. Well, yeah, I'm going to go home and think about my last 24 hours with a Panda 100 HP. I'm not actually driving it home, I don't think. Or am I? Shall I? Shall I change my plans and drive it? Yes. Yes, I will.